So I was actually thinking to myself one day that scaling in the info space and actually doing numbers like this actually has some cheat codes behind it. So in this video, I'm going to go ahead and break down a lot of the cheat codes that I'm using to be able to scale all the way up to six-figure months with a lot of my clients. Also, as well, if you don't know me, my name is Kyle. I've been in the internet marketing or info space for almost 3 years now, and I've came through and I've seen a lot in the space, and I want to go ahead and share, a lot with you in this video that I've used over the time and experience that I've gained to be able to get results like I have. All right, so to be able to make months all the way from 100 to almost 600 grand a month, you're going to need what I like to call some business cheat codes. And I know what you're thinking, like I explained before too as well, like these will be, the top things that I've used that are quite literally cheat codes to be able to scale to whatever revenue months you want to. So let's actually start here, like the first cheat code. So, what I mean by, the info space is built on identity, not value, is pretty much, people don't really buy info, they buy identity. You know what I mean? So like, have you ever seen, for example, there's always, a bunch of different people in the same niche, but then you tend to find like maybe 2 or 3 max that tend to stand out the most out of everybody. And then when you start to realize that, you start to see and you look into the offers, and a lot of the offers are actually the same. Like a lot of the offers are actually the same. But the reason why somebody gets more sales is because they're getting more attention, aka, they're getting more attention because, their identity is bigger. And let me show you what I mean by an attractive character. So if we scroll down, an attractive character, and you get this, when you are in the internet marketing space for a while, you start to understand what the attractive character is. And, the attractive character is built up of, your elements of your backstories, right? Your parables, your character flaws, and your polarity, right? Those 4 create that type of character and, the type of video character that people they look at and they relate to, or they see as a mentor, or they want to learn from them, right? It's those 4 elements. And then it usually goes towards an identity as well, which is either are they a leader, right? Like, are they a crusader? Are they like a reporter, or are they a reluctant hero? And to give you context, I've worked with almost every one of these types of identities. Like, I've worked with the leader, someone that comes in, they're new, innovative, and they've created something completely new that makes them stand out, right? You have the crusader, which is the adventurer, the one that tries different things. They kind of do it a little bit off of the norm, right? You also have the reporter, right? This is someone that, and probably, for example, the only reporter I've kind of worked with is some of those crypto guys that pretty much essentially they're always reporting what's going on in the market, what's going on there. That is pretty much that's what the reporter is. And then the reluctant hero is someone that, and in this specific person, he pretty much goes against the norm by calling out things, calling out gurus, or he calls out things that usually are, we can say, swept under the rug, and that's what makes them a reluctant hero, because they're so transparent and authentic that a lot of people are attracted to them, right? And they usually have these specific storylines. They have a loss and redemption story, us versus them, right? Before and after. A lot of you guys see the rags to riches stories with a lot of people, with the offers that work really well, or you have to use your rag to riches story. An amazing discovery, right? Someone finding out a specific trading strategy or anything along the lines of that, right? They have good storytelling, and it's a third person testimonial. That is what I mean by the space is built on identity. And that's also why I'm breaking down specific things. A lot of people tell you can come in, be a coach, right? Or they probably tell people that you're running the offer for that they can be a coach. But I promise you, you can line up the same exact product with everyone else, and I guarantee you 10 times out of 10 you're going to get dog walked by the competition if they literally just have a better personal brand than you do, right? Because what I'm seeing that a lot of people do in this space right now is this. It looks like the Spider-Man meme, right? It literally looks like just everyone is just continuously just pointing off of one another, and they're copying, and it's just making everything more and more diluted. When you copy someone, let's say this person is the main source of everything, right? And then what happens is when someone copies them, they try to resemble them in a way, but it's not going to be this. It's not ever going to be the same, right? It's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be more diluted, right? then it starts to look like this. And then that person, doesn't know where this person got it from, but they say, you know what, let me copy this person. And as you can see, it starts every time someone copies someone, right? They try to copy their personality. They try to copy how they talk. It gets more and more diluted to the point where it just doesn't even exist anymore, right? And that's what a huge problem is too as well, that, not a lot of people are using to their advantages. When you're creating these offers or, you're creating offers for other people, you have to make sure that you tell them. I tell my clients all the time, bro, please be yourself. And I want to explain one more thing, dog. Like, other than, the whole copying thing, right? And just being authentic and being yourself, that pretty much builds into your whole attractive character, right? The next real leverage is to understand, like, once you have your attractive character dialed in, and let's just, like, put it right here. Like, let's just say, like, this is your attractive character. It's going to be a flywheel, right? And a flywheel is something that's going to continuously go. It's going to spin faster. It's going to go faster, right? Kind of like a snowball effect. Once you have your attractive character dialed in, it's going to cause attention, right? It's going to go ahead and it's going to cause attention. And once it causes attention, right, you send it to your offer, right? And when I made this circle too small, you'll go ahead and you'll send it to your offer. And then your offer is going to obviously make money. And once your offer makes money, you'll get more proof that the offer works. And then more proof that you get to talk about ends up being towards your attractive character. Now, I'm sorry, I'm not a fucking artist. I don't know how people can draw with a touchpad, but it's going to continue to make a continuous loop. And then what starts to happen is it starts to spin faster. So moving on to the next, cheat code. So this one's pretty easy to explain, but the next cheat code is going to be the attention economy, right? And it kind of leads into the last thing that we were talking about, but pretty much, like, a lot of people think that the cheat codes are like, and I love like having business data and all of that fun stuff, but the most important thing to reiterate on is just you need more traffic, right? You need just more attention. And the biggest cheat code about getting attention, of course, once you have the whole attractive character dialed in, is, back then, bro, it used to take, a lot of resources or connections to really get, whatever service or product, you're trying to market out there. Now, it's not the case. Like, if you literally, like, the cost per booked call right now on average that I see across, like, all the companies that I manage and operate under, are literally like will be $50 to max I've seen it's $200, like a call. Like, that's for someone to come on and be semi aware of a product and semi like prone to paying for any product, right? So if you think about it, that's not that bad. And by any chance, like, for example, if we are priced out on ads and you're like, oh, Kyle, like, ads are expensive, like, I don't really know if I could pay for that. Attention is now free. Like, if you understand the principles of an attractive character, right, the next cheat code is you can literally post on social media now and get attention and send it to your offer. It's actually that fucking simple. Like, there's nothing else that beats that. Like, you literally are able to, and I know a lot of people too as well, they think like, oh, well, there's like a low amount of views, or like if I only get 50 views. But think about it, like, when I used to do like outreach, right, I used to max probably reach out to 20 people a day. But then if you do the math, like, let's say I'm reaching out, right, to 20 people a day, right? Excuse my drawing. Realistically, let's say 5 of those get opened, right? That means only 5 people actually see what I'm trying to do. So that means that for a day's full of work, probably sometimes, bro, to get like 20 quality outreaches, it would take me like 8 hours. Sometimes even more, and it's draining. It took me 8 hours. You could literally make a video in maybe 5 minutes, and so what? Your video gets 200 views. Like, the amount more of leverage that you have that's doing that, and the faster pace that you're working at is insane. It's literally insane, because if you look at it, like, it's gonna take me 3 days to get 15 views when I can post one video in a day and get 200 views. Like, what I tell a lot of people too as well is, like, you have to imagine that you're in a room, right? You have to imagine that you're in a room pitching to 200 people. That's a fuck ton of people. So don't sleep on the fact that, the next cheat code you can use is you can literally get that attention from literally anywhere. TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. You can literally just post on those, and I promise you the algorithm will work in your favor, and you will start getting views, and you will start getting, things pushing towards your product. And a lot of time I see people like going and copying other people's funnels, and I promise you, like, it's not the font of the funnel. Like, it literally is just because that person is beating you on attention. Like, I don't think that their offer is that insane to where, they're just whooping your ass. I really just think I would probably say like 8 times out of 10, they just probably have more traffic than you, right? And that's literally it. That's the game. And now I want to cover some extra things too as well, right? Like, a lot of things that no one talks about. And one big one is a cheat code is just keeping things simple. Like, believe it or not, like, you don't understand how many people I've worked with that have completely ruined their business just because they just don't know how to keep shit simple. They have to do, something that's super overly complicated, and they think it's smart, but it's not. They just they overcomplicate it for the client too as well, like everyone running through the funnel or the webinar or whatever they're running through. And I've just seen the people that keep shit super, super simple usually scale the most, because simple scales. Like, if I only need to take 3 steps before someone makes money, right? They need to watch a video, go through the funnel, take a sales call before I make money. That is a very simple 3-step thing. But if we're, they have to sign up for this, they have to go through this loophole, then they have to go around here, then they have to upsell this, then they have to go here and go here, and it's like it's 7 steps before you make money. It's not as simple, and it's going to be harder to scale. Like, I don't know why people don't understand that, and I'm telling it to you. Like, whatever with your running, make sure to keep it as simple as possible. I like to keep a rule, and I don't like a lead to have to go through more than 4 steps before I'm like, it won't work, right? Because that's how I want to be able to keep things as simple as possible. Like, that's literally it. And then another thing that's boring that nobody wants to talk about is, remember when I showed you the flywheel and we talked about proof? So proof will always scale faster than those I will make you money in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 10K a month, whatever the fuck. Simply just because, like, once you have proof, you don't have to make claims like that, right? Your proof will sell for you, and the proof allows you to scale much, much faster, because people are able to see themselves in the testimonials. Because a lot of people, yes, people care that you got results for yourself, but then the next thing that they're going to say right after, the next objection that's going to pop up in their head psychologically, they're going to say, okay, cool, this guy can get results for himself, but can he get results for someone like me, right? And that's where you have to constantly post your proof. I have an offer right now that's doing 6 figures a month consistently, and all this guy does on his stories is he just posts all his wins over and over and over again. And what starts to happen is, it starts to be a thing called commitment and consistency, right? So the psychological principle that states that no matter what, like, if someone continues to do something, like as kids, for example, we woke up, right? And one of the first things we should do is honestly brush our teeth, right? The same thing. If someone can continue to, want to get into a specific, business model, or want to get into a specific field, and they see other people winning every single day, right? They see people winning every single day. Like, they're checking wins every single day. They want to wake up and check wins because it helps them. It helps them believe more. It helps them think they can do it. Eventually, though, what's going to happen is they're going to want to have to commit and actually take action on doing the thing, right? So you just have to remember, proof scales more than promises. And another thing is, another cheat code is fucking AI. Like, I literally use AI. Like, once you know how to prompt it, being able to use AI to go ahead and, write off, emails, write VSLs, write landing pages, right? Having AI speeds things up super, super quickly, to the point where, you're able to get way more done than you used to. It used to take me, for example, an hour, maybe an hour and a half to write a solid email. And now with AI, it takes me max 15 to 30 minutes, right? Depending on if the prompting's fucked up. So you have to be able to use things like that to your advantage. But those are the cheat codes, you can use to, scale an info business. Other than that, everything is real simple. But I hope you found this video valuable. My DMs are open. You can go ahead and check the link in the description. You can go ahead and shoot me a DM and we could chop it up. I can look into your business or your client's business or whatever. But until then, take care. Peace.